Everyone, welcome to another video. So in the previous video we saw how we can create a 2D character matrix and then render our map based on each character mapping, right? So we were able to add the level. Now in this video we are gonna see how a player can move around in our maze. So we have a maze like this, so how the player can move around, pick some objects like the key here and then exit out of the door, and that will be end of our game, right? So in this video we are gonna cover some collision detection and the player movement, right? So let me go over some theory before jumping on to the code. So as you can see, this map is think of it like a 2D graph, right? Like this. So this is like 0 here, and then we have, let's say, 100 here. Similarly, 0 here and 100 here. So our player is somewhere here. Now player can move in four directions, right? Like top, down, right and left. So if we see, let's say, if the player is on x comma y, so from here the player can move up, which will be x minus 1 comma y, right? And in this case x plus 1 comma y, and in this case it will be x and then we'll have y plus 1. Similarly here we'll have x comma y minus 1. So this is gonna be our four direction, the way we can map the four directions from x comma y, and so we are gonna do that itself in the code as well. So in the code I'm gonna create a array called const directions. This is how I like to use it. So we are gonna map it with left. So this left is gonna be the key that we press, right? So our game engine can detect, like, if I press the left key on the keyboard, it's gonna map to this string left. So in case of left, we saw that we only want to move towards the x, like in this direction, which is our left, right? So the way it works is, like, the player is here, so we are moving, like, in terms of x comma y, it's gonna be y minus 1, but overall, in this case, in the game graphics, right, when the player is here and if it's moving here, so if this is 10 comma 20, then the player is actually moving towards what you call minus, let's say if the player moves by 10 or player moves by 20 on the left, so it's gonna be minus 10 comma 20. So in the game graphics, the technical aspect is same, that you move, like, it should be x comma y minus 1 if you imagine it in a 2D matrix like this, but eventually it's basically this part is like for the left and right, and this the second coordinate is for up and down. I know it's a little difficult to wrap your head around it, but just think of it as being getting swapped among each other. So we will need to give it like a vector. So we have a vector2 function available to us, so it's going to be minus 1 comma 0 because we are moving towards left side. So if the first coordinate is for the left and right, and the second coordinate is for the up and down, right? So just imagine that it's like y comma x in game graphic. So we have this, then we have up. The up would be vector of 2, 0 comma minus 1, and then down vector of 2, 0 comma 1, right? So this is our key to value mapping in the directions dictionary, you can say. Now we need to map map key presses to moving the player. So the way I would do is I'll just run a for loop among the direction that I have. So const direction in directions, and then I can just have a key press for direction. So whichever direction the player is in, it's gonna be like, and then we can have, okay, so before that we actually need to abstract our player into a variable. So the way we can do is, because we know it's everything is key value pair, and for the player we actually added this key here on line 36. So the way we can get the player object is by getting the player, and now we get an array. So we know there is only one player, so we can have we can give 0. If there were two players, then we need to get both the players in a different variable, something like that. So we'll have player dot move, and then we have direction, and then we need to scale it. We can scale it like in 50 or 60. The reason with scaling is in game graphics, like let's say this is 180 by 180 map, right? We saw that we have defined here 180 by 180. So on left it will move 179.180, right? Let's say if the player is at 180 comma 180, so on the left it will move around 179 by 180. So the change won't be significant, so you will have to do a lot of left presses. So so to make it easier, we actually multiply it by a scale. Yeah, so we are gonna give a scale of, let's say, 60 in our case. So once this is done, key, actually it should be key down, because we are not pressing it, it's a key down command in our case. So let's just run it and see if our player is moving around. Okay, so you can see our player is moving around, but you can see how it's not doing anything when I go over the key or over the wall. So to do that, we would actually need to add the collision, right? So the collision part is required. This solid part, in order for it to take action, we need a command that will resolve it. Let me see if, okay, scene is here. So it should be under player dot action, so we keep track of it. Player dot resolve, okay, so it's not gonna change anything, but you see how I cannot go past this. Even if I go around key, it will detect some collision, because if you remember, we have given them as the solid. So this solid is like, okay, you cannot pass it. So this two lines basically take care of resolving all the user actions. So when the user is near a solid object, we need to resolve it. So these two lines are very important. Now we only need to detect collision. So by collision I mean, like, okay, if the player is near door, or so we just need to complete it when it's near a door, right? Or we just need to remove our key when it goes over the key, or when it touches the key. So the way it works in this case is we basically do player dot overlaps item. In our case it's item, the key, and once it's there, we basically can call the destroy method and and that's done. So that should do, and it should remove the key. Okay, it removes the key, and see, nothing happens when we do the door. So similarly, we need to do it for the door as well. So for that, we know what is gonna happen. So it's gonna be player dot overlaps door. We don't need to pass any argument here, and then we can just call go, and we have our end scene end, right? So we call the end scene, and in the end scene we can add a text, display text, and in this case something like this. So let's see, let's take the key, the keys goes away, and if I go here, we have won the game. So that completes our game. It's a very basic game. I know you guys can add more level to it by adding to the layout and then adding few more doors to the design, but this is the overall aspect of creating RPG game. You can create more complex versions of this, but base would be this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. In the next video, which is going to be the last video, I will show how we can deploy this game on the Netlify app, and then you can share that game with all of your friends. So yeah, please like this video, and thanks everyone.